everybody. I know every week I say, I'm so excited. Okay, but today I am exceptionally excited about today's show. Welcome to the Well Dressed Brand TV show. If this is your first time here, I'm your host, Toy Sweeney. Today, y'all, we are getting you ready for the new year. We are not waiting for January because we are high performers. So we're going to start today with my exceptional guest, Michelle McKinney. Woo! Welcome into the show. Michelle is the founder of, I want to make sure I say it right, Dreams Unleash. I mean, if that's not powerful in itself. And then she blows our minds further, and she considers herself and calls herself a dream architect. Come on. There are so many of you in this exceptional tribe that are just like, what's my next step? I have some dreams. I'm really not clear on them. Well, listen, this is the last day of that talk, okay? We're coming for you today. We are coming for you. And by we, I mean Michelle. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of listening. I am so excited to have you on the show, Michelle. Thank you so much for saying yes. Welcome to the Well Dressed Brand TV show. Sorry, I had to take a drink. All right. Okay. Ooh, Michelle, you look frozen. Let's see. Can you hear me? I think you're frozen. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes. I might have to log off and log back on because I think my guest is frozen. Let's see. But today we're going to talk about unleashing your dreams. We're going to talk about your vision. There we go. We are going to talk about this vision playbook that Michelle created. But before, when she pops back on, I'm going to ask her a few questions about how she started, what made her come up with this exceptional idea. But I cannot wait for you guys to see this vision playbook. Like, I know that you guys have, and if you have, let me know in the chat. Have you done a vision board before? Have you done a vision board before? Because, it's been a long time since I have gotten the poster board, right? And, cut out all the pictures and done like all the things. It's been a minute since I've done that. The vision playbook was completely different than anything that you've ever done. So I think that by now, most of you have businesses or you're thinking about having a business. So you understand the importance of having a dream. You understand the importance of having a vision. And if you've been following me long enough, you know that one of my favorite scriptures, I think it's on my Facebook page, is where there is no vision, the people will perish. And, what does that say to you, right? That if you don't have a vision, it impacts the people that you have leadership over. And that could be your children, it could be your employees, it could be your friends, it could be your classmates, it could be anyone. It could be any of those things. And so vision itself is very important. And so I'm so excited to dive in and learn about why Michelle calls herself the dream architect. Hopefully we can get her back on in a second. She hasn't popped back on yet. Let me see. All right, let me just check there we go. There she is. Hello, welcome back.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Oh no, it's fine. I didn't even stop. We just kept going.
Good.
So one of the things that I was talking to the tribe about is just that, I want to, hold on, let me put your name.
Perfect,
here.
That's good.
Is we were talking about, like, my first question really is what I'm excited to ask you is wait a minute. No, we're live. So y'all know how this goes with me.
We're good.
Hold on. Boom. Okay. So where did you learn about dreams? Like what did you learn about dreams in themselves? And what led you to this work to say, hey, there's something here that I want to be used by God and be my highest self, and I can help other people do that. What was it about dreams specifically, I guess, is my question, that led to vision?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the way that I think about it is that for well over 25 years or so, I've been in the executive assistant space working with corporate executives at some incredible global companies, right? And in that space, I'm really good at what I do. And when I think about executives, at the end of the day, they are working towards a dream. At the beginning of the year, they start with a vision that is aligned with the mission, right? And so the idea is this is where we are, but that's where we want to be. That's a dream, right? They may not call it a dream, but that's the dream. That's the vision of where I want to be. And so in working with executives and just being able to help them with efficiencies, and I believe at the end of the day, my life purpose and its simplified form is to help people get from here to there. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if I'm working with busy executives or women or children or churches or whomever. My life purpose and the way that I've been wired is just to help people get from here to there. That's it, right? And so it got to a place where, because years prior, I've often had other women either at my home, at a local grocery store, if they had a place to meet up. But my burden had always been women, busy women especially. And so I just felt like there was this like sort of pull from God that was like, listen, you've been doing this at a high level for executives for many years in terms of supporting them in their dreams or the vision and where they're trying to go. Let's take that and marry it with the passion that you have for women. And so that's kind of where it all started.
I love that. I love that so much, because I can't think of one person, honestly, who doesn't need you. Because it really is such a gift, because, as somebody who is completely type A, I call myself type A minus, because I think that, the Jesus in me brings me down a little bit. Keeps me very humble. Because if I don't humble myself, he will.
Hello.
And he has. And so, as somebody who's like very type A minus, I think it's very easy to say, well, I know what my dreams are, and I'm very clear on what I need to be doing. And, the ego kicks in, right? And when you have ego, that's the greatest acronym for like etching God out, right? And and you're just like, I don't need anything. I don't need this. I don't need that. But let me tell you something. I know that we're going to get to the vision dream, the vision playbook, but I have to say, before we like officially get there, that even if, for those of you listening, even if you're thinking any of those thoughts, this entire process and the way that Michelle's mind works will completely not only blow your mind, but it's just going to shut that thought right down. So go ahead and tell Mary Mediocrity to go sit in the corner. She cannot be a part, right? She cannot be a part of this conversation, because what do I always say to you guys? I love you. I care about you, and we just want to make you better. So that is what this show is about. I am so excited. So I love that. So this is your life's work, which means that you care deeply. And this is why you are able to deliver such a, I think, an important product. Talk to me about vision. Why do you think that vision is important? Like, is it different from a dream? Is it the same? What do you think?
Yes. So, no, clearly, let's start first. The business is called Dreams Unleashed, right?
Yes.
Could have called it Dreams. Now, granted, on the trademark side, can't call it Dreams, but the important is there's dreams, but then the active word is that it's unleashed, right?
Yes.
You can have the dream and it sits here, but if you don't have an active word to put it out into the world, it is just a dream. It's not doing anything, right? It's an idea. It's a thought, something I want to do. So when we're working with the vision playbook, or if I'm working with clients in a coaching capacity, I want to know what's the vision. And the reason is because if you tell me the dream, this is what the dream sounds like. I use this example often. If you tell me, let's say in your role as keeper of the home, or whatever you want to call your home space, right? I want to be a homeowner, right? I'm like, okay, that's so broad. There's no accountability with it. There's none of that, right? So where I challenge a person is, tell me more. And instead of saying, I want you to also change the verb. Verbs are very important. So instead of saying, I want to be a homeowner, I want to hear something like this in the vision statement. By December 2022, 2023, whatever the time frame is for you, right?
Yeah.
I will be a homeowner in Salt Lake City, Utah, or wherever
Right.
the place is, in a home with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 5 bedrooms, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, very specific.
Be
Yeah.
as specific as you can. The
Yeah.
difference from when I said I want to be a homeowner and I will be a homeowner is now when you say I want to be, that's just kind of sitting out there in the somewhere land of something, right?
Right.
When you say I will be a homeowner and you get specific with it, now there's some accountability because now I don't put a date out in the world.
Right.
And the accountability is for me, but then also for those that I invite into my life to hold me accountable because I said, I will be a homeowner by this particular date. And now I also have clarity of what I'm looking for and what I'm aiming for. It's not generalized anymore. So that's the difference for me between a dream and a vision. Is a dream is I got some thoughts around what it's going to be. A vision is I'm putting some action to it with what my statement is, and I'm creating as much clarity as I possibly can with it.
I love that because, and for whatever reason, it made me think of like when in the height of the pandemic, my son said to us, and I think that my husband had this as his Facebook page. He like created like a little logo for it, and you know he was talking to us about like love without action.
Yes.
You know, and right, I mean, like you're 11. What do you know about that? And he, you know, he was just we were talking about various things one day, and he said, you know, Daddy, love equals action. Right. And so, and it made me think of that when you said that, because vision equals action. And what I was saying off camera when you were, when you know, had dipped off for a second, I was saying that, you know, one of my favorite scriptures is, you know, where there is no vision, the people will perish. Right. And when you think about the people that you have, you know, love and, you know, with or leadership over, if you're not leading them and if you're not clear, right, that goes into vision, right? And if you don't have the steps that you're talking about, then that they're going to, like, we love them. We don't want them to perish. We don't want to perish, you know? And so when you were talking about that, those were the thoughts that were going around in my crazy brain as you were speaking about it. How has this manifested into your personal life? And then I want to get into the vision playbook.
Yeah. So vision is, so for me, especially right now this year, I've been marrying vision. And for anybody that is familiar with Mike Todd from Transformation Church.
Yes.
I've been marrying the work that I've been doing over the years with the space that they've been in Crazy Faith, right?
Right.
And so with
Crazy
the vision,
faith.
crazier,
Right.
that's right, crazier faith, right? And so for me, it is not just, okay, what is it? What's the desires that's in your heart, right? Because the other understanding that I had to grow into over the last year and a half or 2 years is that the desires that I have in my heart, right? Since we in the scripture spot, let's go ahead in the scripture spot. Let's stay there for a minute, right?
Let's go. That
it says, God will give me the desires of my heart, right? I used to think about that scripture from the space of whatever it is that I dream and whatever it is that I want, God will give it to me, right? But then there was question like, is that accurate? Until I heard a teaching that was, God will give me the desires. That's the difference. Let's pause. God will give me the desires of my heart. That's a different emphasis because now what I'm understanding is the desires. Now, not all of them, because some of this stuff in here is a little bit wicked. It's a little twisted. I'm just going to be honest, right? But for the most part, the things that I have in here, these are desires and dreams and passions and things that God has put in me and God is stirring in me, right? And so I'm in this space where now it's like, not just what's the vision, what's crazy about it? Like what's crazy about it to the point where I've often been in a space where I put the vision out there and I share with people like, look, this is what I'm believing God for, right? Now, granted, you can't share all of it with people, but I share it because when it manifests, I want you to see that this wasn't just something that just kind of happened. This was something that I believed God for. And now let me show you that from the belief of it happening to the manifestation of it. And so for me, it's been just, even if I look at this playbook, right? This is my playbook from, and I know we're going to get into it in a minute, but
No,
this was my playbook from the year prior, right? And I don't want to show it too much, but this house right there that you saw,
I love it.
that picture went on my playbook before I got in the house.
Amen.
It was a desire in my heart, and I was scared because I didn't think I would qualify for a lot of reasons for the house, because I was starting my life over. Was going through a divorce. This community was a community of my dreams, that for many, many years that I always used to drive down this street and be like, I wonder what it's like to live over there. And so I had disqualified myself from even being a candidate, especially now being a single mom and just getting back into the workforce again, right? Because I had, some transitions, even in from work, being a full-time entrepreneur. And it's like, no, now it's just you, single mama. We got to get back into the corporate space, and we can keep this business going as well, right?
Absolutely.
So the idea that this would be where I would reside didn't seem to make sense, because it's like, how am I going to afford that?
Yes.
I ended up in faith coming to see the community, scared, but it was like, but then I surrounded myself with other people and was like, yo, this is the dream. Do y'all think this is possible, right? And I love what Mike Todd said one before, is that I don't need you to walk with me. I just need you to agree with me. I just need you to agree with me, right?
That was such a good one.
So I had some people in my life that I trusted with my vision, that agreed with me, right? That even when I was like, I don't know, they would be, one of my girlfriends, Kristen, she was like, when I was doubting, Michelle, I'm feeling the urge to tell you, I'm feeling depressed. Go walk around that space one more just walk around that block of that particular property one more time. When I went and actually came to see the property, my daughter stood in this room while it was vacant. And she said, take a picture of me. I took a picture of her. Came back to the house and put a vision together, put the pictures, printed them out from out of my phone, her in it. And then on the other side, I wrote out the vision statement. I will be this specific community, and this is what I'm going to do as a result of us being the salt and light in this community. That's what putting the vision to work and having crazy faith is all about. It's, what's the vision? Write the vision, make it plain, so that he who sees it will run. When I have that vision and a vision statement written down and the collage, all the things, it makes me run towards something very specific. So that's how it shows up in my life for me.
I love that. And I wanted you to share that. Karen saying that she just got chills. She's like, I just had chills. We were just talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that too, and your story is not all that different from the story that Michael Todd is sharing. If you guys have not seen this series and you're interested, you can go onto YouTube and check out Transformation Church. And he has done this series already, but this is the leveled up version that we're talking about, called Crazy Faith, because I believe, and this just came to me, Michelle, you might probably have thought of this already, but the other day, and I was in my prayer time, and I know that everyone, I get sick of things quickly, just because I read a lot and I've absorbed a lot, like in fashion and words and whatever. And everybody's in this space where they're talking about believe. And there's obviously nothing wrong with that. But as I was praying about and going through my vision playbook, it was like the Holy Spirit was like, but faith is the foundation for belief, right? Because faith has to come with an expectation and an assurance, right? And so I don't know, that's just what came to me, and that's what I was thinking about. Actually, I wasn't. I was working on my new book. I was doing them both.
Come on, wait a minute. Can we just say that one more time? I know we here talking about. Can we say that one more time? You working on your what?
I was working on my new book.
The hello.
Number 2.
Do say.
And so and I just, and I was thinking about that, and so that's why I love so much about the work. Okay, there's like 2 other things that I really want to unpack about what you said. Okay, I do have to ask this because I think it's important. It's a simple question. But I want your answer. Okay, you said when you were talking about sharing your vision, because I hear a lot of people Everybody's going crazy in the chat. I love you guys. They're like, wait, hold up. I think that a lot of people are saying, don't share your vision, right? Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that. Mm-hmm. And I love what you said is that share it, but you can't share it with everyone. Mm-hmm. And the reason I agree with that is because I have done a pruning in my life to get myself like a legit inner circle. Mm-hmm. And so like I'm finally surrounded with who I'm supposed to, so I can share those things with them. Mm-hmm. But I know what you mean. But can you explain why you think and feel that you can't share that with everybody?
Mm-hmm. So if I think, everybody, just like, so let me explain this first. You don't get to, I got to caveat this, we don't get to choose our purpose, right? And the reason why I say that is because I talk about faith so much and God so much, and I honestly, sometimes I don't want to, right? I remember that when I transitioned and I was in corporate and I left corporate to start my business, to do my business full time, right? I remember the first 2 weeks of being in business full time, I tried to change the mission statement of the business. And the mission statement is to help women discover, define, and confidently live out their God-given dreams, right? I was afraid that if I had the word God in there, I wouldn't appeal to a certain group of people. Demographic, it was going to hurt profits and I wasn't going to be able to make money as a full-time entrepreneur. So I took the word God out. Mm-hmm. And it lasted all of 2 weeks. God was like, yeah, how'd you like that, right? So I say that from the space of
like she tried it.
That I don't get to choose what I talk about. And so I talk about faith a lot. I talk about scriptures a lot. But I'm also a bit ratchet at the same time, right?
Bougie, ratchet, girl, savage.
I said, I know I'm not for everybody because you get a whole lot right here. So I had to caveat that because I wanted to go back to scriptures again, right?
Right.
And when I think about that space of not being for everybody, when you go to Noah, right, and the vision and the command that Noah was asked to go build this ark, it didn't make sense to people. And when people saw it, they really tried to, they wouldn't heed to what he was saying. And it's so easily to get discouraged if you share the vision too widely with people who are not on the same page as you, right?
Right.
And so as you're building, I'm not saying that will always be the case. I'm saying you got to be mindful. I'm saying that who was it with the coat of many colors in the Bible that was sold into slavery by his brothers?
Joseph.
It was Joseph. Joseph, right? You can't share the dream. Yeah, I had to check. I was saying Joseph, but I was like, girl, don't be wrong now. We know it wasn't Jonah. He was in the whale.
I almost said Jonah, right?
We know that. Thank you. Karen's like, it was Joseph. Thank you. Listen, I don't profess to be a Bible scholar. I just know I love the Lord with a T at the end of the Lord.
The Lord.
Right? The Lord. And so when he shared his dream, they didn't get it. In fact, they sold him into slavery, right? And so when I think about that, it is you can't share it with everybody. And so in this space of crazier faith, I have a group of people that literally, there's one group of people that we are called the Crazy Faith Accountability Crew. And we are literally on a text thread. And every day somebody is sending a text thread, a text message. And in that space, I have the safety to share dreams that make no sense. That human mind, they make no sense. But not only that, the people in that circle of space, they are also, I like to call them my roller derby sisters. That back in the day when I was in, elementary school, I used to watch roller derby on a Saturday. And those are those women, when you were trying to get to the finish line, right? Or, get past your opponent, they would take somebody and they would slingshot them forward, right? And so those are the people that with this crazy face stuff, they're like, oh, you want to do XYZ? Oh, you trying to get into Essence magazine? Because I'm just going to put it out there. That's been part of the vision, the desire, the dream, right?
Amen.
You want to get in that? Oh, let me go through my Rolodex and see who do I know that maybe I can connect you. We can't make no promises, but in the collective, how can we use our resources to see what's
Yes.
possible, right? So
I
that's
love
my
it.
crazy faith accountability crew. And then I have other circles, other pockets of people, another group that's very similar, the same that I was in before. So the people I surround myself with,
Yes.
I'm very intentional. The energy that
Mhm.
I put out there in the world, at least I try to, it brings back people of what I'm putting out. So my
Yeah.
circle of support is important.
I love that. I read this quote today as I was working on my vision book, playbook, and I found this quote today that said, "Your ceiling is somebody else's floor."
Mm,
Or your floor
yes,
is somebody else's, your floor, sorry, that makes more sense. Your
I know what you meant.
floor is somebody else's ceiling, right? And it kind of goes back to that that quote that's about, your $1 million dream, and you're talking to somebody that has like a dollar vision. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna, they can't meet you where you are because they can't even see it. And
No,
so obviously I think in pictures as a creative. And so as you were talking, that's what I kept seeing was like, yeah, you can't share it with everybody because, this is your ceiling and they're too busy being on the floor. Like,
right.
doing, how you gonna do it? I don't know where to do that. I don't, like, shut up. Just, I can't talk to
No,
you.
and it's important. And the other thing about that is that what I've realized in my life is not only I believe that you need multiple levels of people in your life, right?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
believe that there are people that you pour into. I believe there are people who are running at the same pace as you. And then I think there are people who are forward ahead of you, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
kind of in that space, I have to have people who call me higher. I got to have people in
Mm.
my life who like, I see the
Mhm.
potential and I know what's in you. That's mediocre, Michelle.
Absolutely.
That is not your best.
Right.
That's not where it's so even when I started the Sundays with Meech podcast,
I love.
I was like, thank you. I was like, video's too complicated, YouTube is complicated. I don't edit, I don't know how to do it. I'm just gonna roll it out with audio. I had somebody
Love
in my
it.
life that was like, okay. And when they say okay, I know it's not
Right.
like okay. I felt the sting of it, like.
Yeah. Like, what are
And
you
what the
doing?
challenge was is you're supposed to be growing. You're supposed to be venturing into that YouTube space for
Right.
the space of where God's trying to take you.
Right.
Why are you settling again, as you said, at the floor? And so having those people who can see you and call you higher is so important.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's so important, but also, my husband is the person that like will keep me balanced. We don't always
Mm-hmm.
agree. Like I am definitely more like vision, dream, like he's always like, you're the visionary, you're the thought leader.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm the executor,
Mm.
and so he's the one that's always like, you sure about that? And I'm like, yeah, well, why?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he'll say something and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? You're right. I hadn't thought about that. But again, I am super type A, so I probably have thought about most things. But every once in a while, there is things that I hadn't thought about.
And
I hadn't.
consider, yep,
And so he's just kind of like that balance because he
that's
will like pull,
huge.
pull the wallet and I'm just like, spend
Mm-hmm.
all the money. Let, let's just make it happen,
Make it rain everywhere. Make it rain. Make it
Yeah,
rain.
right. We can do it. And he's just like, can we know? I'm like, well, maybe we can do it a little.
Just give me a little sprinkle. Just a
I'll meet you.
sprinkle.
I'll meet you halfway. So I think that we balance each other. We're very, very different, but our core values are aligned. Like we're really different. But where our core values are aligned. And so where he is just like not like that entrepreneur kind of like spirit, he keeps me from being at 100 sometimes, and I'm just like 80%, let me
Yep.
think about this more. Let me, so I think that that's right. But I just I think that I'm one of those people that I probably share too much with in the past anyway, with the wrong crowd. And so I feel very blessed like you to have surrounded myself with the right people. Desiree wants to get in that group and so do I. So
Listen, this is the thing. I tell people start the group. What you don't have, start it. Because
yeah,
honestly, that crazy faith crew, it started because I felt a pull, a prompt, a nudge to say, you need to get with some people who can do this. And there was
yeah,
only one specific person that I kept feeling that I needed to call. I reached out to that
Mm.
person, and it took me some time because I kept being disobedient and like, I ain't got time, I'll do it later, because I wasn't taking it seriously. I
Yeah.
didn't know that God was nudging that person on the other
Wow.
side, and they weren't doing it either. So by the time I called them and then we connected, it was like, oh, I have this group that we're meeting up with, and I think this might be the group that's supposed to meet.
Oh,
Sure enough,
wow.
we met that one time, and that was the group. And so I say that to say, if you don't have a crazy faith or accountability group,
Yeah.
start one. Whatever it is that you need that doesn't exist, if you can, start it.
Yeah. I think that was the part that I was kind of struggling with. They're like, who's going to keep you accountable? I'm like, I don't know. I was like,
Right.
crickets. Okay, so let's talk about, we have been dropping nuggets for 30 minutes already.
Woo!
I'm like, we're winning. Okay, what is this? Explain what it is. And I'm just gonna let you talk about your baby. And first of all, okay, after you explain what it is, I would like for you to take a pause so that I can share my experience with it when I got it in the mail.
Yes.
If you don't
Okay.
mind.
So, very succinctly and concisely, what I'll share is that I think that vision boards and the way that people have used them, I think they've been useful. I don't think they are as effective as they could be. And so, this is the vision board that is taken to the next level, basically.
Yeah, it is.
Because typically, you go to a vision board party or you do it at your home. You get together your magazines, you got your music pumping, you got your food, all the things, and you vibing, right? And then you start putting pictures down. If you're in a group with other people, sometimes you're influenced by what other people are doing. It's like, oh, I want a new house too. I want a new car. I want to go to the Maldives.
Yes.
Did you really? Or were you influenced by somebody else's vision? And so now you've adopted it as your own, which is a huge problem because you want to be able to at least be in the will of what you're supposed to be doing and your lane, because that's where you'll have grace, right? And that's where you'll have favor. And so the vision, where vision boards stop is that it takes you to the place of thinking about what is it that you want. What it doesn't do is help you to think about how to get there. That's what it is that I do. And that's the secret sauce of the work that I do in and of itself. So basically, each of this is collapsible. And so each of these spaces represents a different role of your life, right? So I help you to choose up to 8 that you're going to focus on in the year. In a vision board, everything is on a one-dimensional flat piece of something. And then the problem is you take it home. And after you take it home, it's like, where am I hanging this big old piece of 18 by 25 or 36 or whatever it's poster board? And then the edges are going to curl up. And then it doesn't go with your aesthetic in the house. And then it's in the back of the closet. And then eventually it's in the trash, right? So the vision shouldn't be in the trash. So it's like this helps us to be able to put in a space that you can either put on your desktop, your bed frame, your bedside, or anything like that, or even collapsible into the dust bag that it comes with. But here's the secret sauce. This is what it is. So for example, on the front here, this is my, let's use this one. This is my, there we go, my collage page for my role in self-care, right? Immediately on the back is the strategy page for self-care of what is the vision, like spell it out, what I just shared with you guys. And then how am I going to get there? What are the steps? When am I going to do it? Who's going to hold me accountable? What are the pitfalls, the dream hurdles, and things like that that typically get in my way that stunt me and stop me from getting there? So that's the beauty of the Vision Playbook. You get to use it. I use mine every single Sunday. I pull it out, or even throughout the course of the week when I want to remind myself. But on Sundays, I pull this Vision Playbook out so that I can figure out, of my 8 roles, what are the up to 4 that I want to focus on in making the vision happen? So again, this takes the vision board to a whole new level.
An entire new level. So I was so excited when you came out with the new version of this, like the leveled up version. Like it blew. I had been waiting. Like, you know, I told you before we went live. Like I just low key stalk you because I'm low-key obsessed with you, and I think you're amazing. And like you make me feel like I'm in high school again, where I'm just gonna be like, I want to be friends with that girl. Where can I find her? What was that? And I'm peeking around the like, is Michelle over there in the hallway? Where's Michelle?
I can't with you.
Oh, that's cute.
I can't with you.
I'm serious. I'm being very serious. And so, like, that's how I feel. And so I've been waiting. And so when I saw that, she was back and bigger and badder and just and black and gorgeous.
Woo, baby.
Sexy.
She's sexy. She
is so sexy. And so I was like, okay. So I was like, I like the idea, right? I told you that a while back. I was like, I think it's brilliant, right? So I ordered one. I did not open it. And then I ordered 2 more to give.
You did.
Right? Because I really believe in it. And y'all know, the tribe knows, like, I'm not only am I not for everybody, but, I will support you, but if
you do, and I'm so grateful for it.
But if I'm supporting you like this, I only will put my name against something that I truly, truly in my heart of hearts believe in. So, so I was just like, okay. So I was like, I'm in. So I got it. I ordered 2. My cousin called me and she was like, girl, have you opened your vision playbook? And I was like, no, not yet. I gotta find time to do, so then I opened her up. I opened the package and then I see the dust bag. And I was like, okay, Neiman Marcus, you are already speaking my language. And then I pull out this gorgeous bag and the little card that tells me that the dust bag helps women in Rwanda.
Yes.
Correct?
That's correct.
So now you have the audacity to be giving back and helping other women in other countries.
Yes.
I'm sold twice. So I'm like, okay, here we go. So then I'm going through the book. I see the personalized handwritten note from you, which I was like, okay, here we go. We're in the Nordstrom section of customer.
Come on, Nordstrom.
I was like, okay, because like the whole book on their customer service. I'm like, okay, she's hitting all of the well-dressed brand fields. Okay, I get it. So then I'm like, okay. So I get into it and I pull it out and I'm like, okay, well, she's sexy. So then I open it up and then and then you have the one sheet where you kind of go through everything. The directions are so clear. It's like having a coach in a box.
Thank you.
It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's what we're trying to do here. Yes.
Because I had questions. And then I was like, I'm not going to text her. Let me read. And then I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, that's good. And I laid it all out. I glued it all down. And then I was like, I text you a picture. I was like, am I doing this right? And you were like, yes, yes, yes. Because you guys, what she was explaining, like, look at how look at all this strategy. Who gives you like a mile of freaking strategy? Who even does this? Like, what planet did the Lord spin around to put this in your soul? What? I'm just saying. And this is like not rehearsed or performed. Michelle has no idea. I was like, I'm not going to tell you my thoughts on it until we're live because I wanted you to hear it, firsthand. So that was just that. And so then I fill out the form. I go through each one, and then I start doing the plan it pages, and I wrote them all down. But it was exactly right. So it's the how much and by when, and that the whole the vision. That is where most people fail. So I knew that, and I was like, I see where we're going. And then you have the nerve to be like, what will I do to work toward to accomplish this vision? Faith without works is dead. I was like, oh, so then you just gonna slap me with that one? So now I got okay. And it's literally like there is coaching if you guys are interested and you get your vision playbook. I'm going to put the link in, in the show and all that stuff for you. And then you can contact Michelle and then y'all can talk about it. But I will tell you that it's like having her in a box. So then I was like, okay. So I wrote down my word for the year because I told the tribe that I would share it with them. That's on my giving key today is freedom.
Yes, I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
Every year I pick a word. And so that goes along with my freedom, Michelle, is I have the actions that I'm taking is that I have 2 months ago now enrolled myself in therapy. I am certainly spending more time with the Lord. And I also hired a plant-based food coach.
Come on now.
because I need to be free from the things that I'm unaware that are holding me back from me getting to the next level. So that is what is on this page. And I don't know if I did. So I will share real quick and then I'm going to shut up and then let you.
No, I'm loving it. I'm here for it.
So I didn't get to finish my freedom.
Ooh, baby.
You can't see the
freedom. That's one of my favorite words of Ubuntu.
Right? I knew. I was like, I know she knows it. I'm telling you, we are the same. So that's what I talked about. And then I just had the definition, my definition of freedom, the one I picked from the dictionary, the power to determine action without restraint. So when you have financial freedom, like it really isn't about the money, for me, it's about the freedom that it brings. Right. And so, I have business goals and that's a hefty, crazy faith number that's attached to what I'm trying to accomplish this year in Jesus' name. But also it's the freedom that I'm after. And so I have to go back and finish this page. But with all that I just shared with you, the word Ubuntu came back to me because I'm writing about it in my new book. But it was all the things I just talked to you about. Your life is as good as your mindset.
Yes, ma'am.
And the beauty of you. And then I put down mental strength. All that I have is a result of prayer. And then just the quick version of Ubuntu. Because I can, you can.
Right? Oh, I love that part. I love hearing that. I love it. I love it. You did so well with your playbook. I am like so here and inspired by it. And on top of that, it feels so good. Honestly, I think you're probably one of the first people that I've talked to in depth about it like this. And that everything that I wanted to put out with the Vision Playbook, you hit it in that space of being a coach in a box. Is that part of the desire for me is to be able to make coaching even more affordable, because one-on-one coaching, it's a premium that comes with the time and the expertise and the years, that goes into it. And so I think like right now, retail, let's say $75 for that. Where are you going to get a coach for $75 that is at a high level, right? Yeah. And the thing that people know about me is that whenever I host events and things like that, I am all here for women introducing themselves. I won't say it on your broadcast the way that I ask them to introduce themselves, but I ask them to introduce themselves at a very high level because I need you to hear who you are. I need you to say it. I need you to be your biggest advocate, right? And so I say that from the space of when I think about the work that I've done over the last 20 something years, plus and what God's graced me and given me to do and the favor and the gifts and the talents, I know I perform as a coach at a very high level, right? And so I know that the value that I bring, it is at a high dollar amount, right? But it's still affordable and approachable. At the same time, I'm like, how do we make this affordable to be able to bring coaching to more people? Yeah. Who pays $75 for a high performing coach? Nobody does, right? So when you said the coach in the box, that's exactly when I was working through this. I've told people that this is like having me as a coach in a box for you. Yeah. Where it's approachable, it's affordable, and it's a tool that, after the coaching is done, so to speak, I'm still coaching you because you've got the tool. Absolutely. I use this tool, like I said, every Sunday. I'm with this book for the most part, just about every Sunday out of the week, right? And then throughout the course of the time, when I am getting ready to head somewhere, whether I'm headed to a coffee shop or wherever I'm going, I'm taking my cute little handmade dust bag from Rwanda, and I'm taking my Vision Playbook, and I'm popping it right here into my dust bag. And then I'm getting my little work bag that I'm going to be working my stuff in, and I'm going to pop it right here in my bag. Yeah. And I'm going to take it with me so that I can refer back to it. Yes. You can't do this with that 18 by 36 poster board. You cannot. You can't do it.
You cannot. But the message that you sent to me was that my dreams, Michelle, and that my vision are precious. Yes. That is what that just that dust bag, right? Is that I store that in there. And I was like, I've never had a place to store outside of my heart and in my mind and on that ginormous poster board that doesn't go anywhere, right? And so I was like, man, that just made me feel like you were whispering to me every time, your dreams and your visions are precious. You know, that they need to be taken care of, and that they were beautiful, and that I was worthy of them. You know, and because, right, like what's precious to us is what we take care of.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's where your treasure is.
Right. And so I just
appreciate you saying that.
It honestly and wholeheartedly is what I thought about it, because I was even thinking too, I was like, how many shows have I done where I've actually done like a real live, like dedicated to what we're talking about? I've done a live before shows and been like, oh, by the way, join us, this is what we're going to be talking about. You know, but when they're really, really something that I feel like people are going to get value out of, like I did this whole like thing. I did the unboxing on Facebook Live. You know, and I was like, oh, okay, and this is made, and I read all the stuff, and I went through all the thing, but then after I had a minute to settle in, I was like, man, this is really exceptional. So just thank you for that. I can't wait to finish it.
Yeah. And let me say this about really quick, since you mentioned finishing, is that I want people to understand that it is a time commitment to do it, right? Yeah. What I would advise is to point out to select 3 days, not 24 hours out of 3 days, but 3 days to be able to sit with it and strategize, right? I did mine in actually it wasn't in a full sitting, it was one almost full day, like my birthday weekend. And then the second half of the day, the next day, I did all my collages, right? Because I'm just a person that I like to get through my stuff. And I get excited about the vision playbook. And so I want to put it to action. That's why I accelerated mine, right? Yeah. I would just say out of 365 days, commit 3 days. Again, not full days, but like 4-hour chunks or whatever you can give. Yeah. To thinking about what's my vision for what are the roles that I want to focus on, and writing through the planet pages. And so just scheduling that time, prioritizing yourself, your dream, your vision, because it makes a difference. When I tell you, when I go back to the book before, I can tell you that about 90% of what was in this vision playbook from the year prior, about 90% of what's in here, it actually took place. And a lot of it is, yes, God's favor and just the clarity, but the clarity around, I knew what I was focused on, what was not going to be good, but what was going to be great for my life. So, yeah.
I love that. And I have 2 things that I want to quickly say, and then I'm going to shut up.
We don't want you to shut up.
We can go all day. Like, we could probably go all day. But what was that? I wanted to tell you something that I was a little attitudinal about.
Tell me about it.
With the playbook. So I wrote down my 8, you know, because I was like, 8, I don't, you know. And so then I was like, and you gave like examples and stuff. And then I was like, okay, this is awful. I'm surprised. My husband's usually on live. He's going to kill me for this, but it's true. So I wrote down wife, right? And I was like, I'm pretty awesome. So I don't know if I have a vision around being awesomer, you know,
because we good over here. We good over here in our household.
I mean, you clearly have outkicked your coverage, bro. You know, so
you clearly hit the jackpot over here. There's nothing.
And then, as the Lord always does, he yanked my freedom chain.
Oh Lord!
And was like, remember what you had done said you was gonna do, where you need to, you know, be doing a little bit more things that he likes to do, so that y'all have more time together. And we went on like this big 7, you know, it was so difficult. This really hard hike when we moved to New York. And I'm trying to do more of those things. So I don't really do outside. I'm more of like a spa relaxation kind of person. Like, I grew up with a lot of trauma, big T and little t. So I want to relax. You know, my idea of sleeping outside is not fun.
Thank you. Give me some walls, please.
I need some walls and a nice chair. I'd like a facial. And it's not my love language, right? And so my love language is like gifts and spending time and words of affirmation. So, and his and his is like acts of service and like, touch and like, and things like that. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, okay. So I had to write it down. And then I was like,
The eye roll
I was
ensued.
so attitudinal about it. Like, I'm not gonna, like, what can I possibly, don't worry. I got smacked in the face about that one. Where is the page? I got completely slapped in the face. Or as we say from watching all the TikToks and reels, smacked in the face. It's still blank. It's still blank. Like, it's still blank. But anyway, what came to mind was just that, there is an opportunity. And I shared that with you guys to say that I know that there's something that you're going to be like, well, I don't really need to, to do that, but I can lean into his love languages more, right? I try to do that, when he has a stressful day, to make sure that there's things in the fridge that he likes, or, asking a simple question of just like, how can I support you today? He does that for me. How are you feeling? How's that? How was your day? How was this? Like, it's the talking, right? And then if he's sitting at his desk working, then, remembering, because we tend to operate out of our love languages, which is a huge fault of mine. Like, I will buy you all the gifts. Like,
we are twins between this not sleeping outdoors and like all the gifts. Look, give me all the gifts, because that's how I speak back to you.
Right? Like, I just like,
I don't want no gifts.
Right. And people are just like, oh no, and so, but like, he doesn't get excited about it because it's not his love language. And so I have to remember that. So then again, you have to think about that person's love language. I have to think about my best friend's love language. I have to think about my son's love language, where he cares so much. So those are the things, those were the visions that were going under those roles for me, was every month I want to make sure that I'm doing something that really leans into their love language. And it was something that I was very attitudinal about when I was like, why did you write that down? Like, there's no vision around being a wife. You are.
And I ask you, you just are.
Right? You just are the vision. And then with mom, I was like, well,
I am the prize. And yes, baby, you are the prize, but there's some work to be done.
Always. So you just slapped me across my face.
I am sorry, but I will say that the thing about the Vision Playbook at the end of the day is that this is really about intentional living.
Yes.
It is about, we live in a space that everything goes so fast. And it's sort of like, you get to the end of the year and it's like, where did my time go? And did I do that? Did I do the things that matter the most for the people who matter the most, including myself? And so the great thing is, as I've said to people, I'm not a collector necessarily of things that my kids that I'll, bequeath to them, that I'll pass down to them.
Right.
But when I looked over the years of, the playbooks that I have, my other one is upstairs. But these are the things that I've decided that I want to pass on to my kids, while I'm gone, because they lived this life with me. And these are what my dreams were. And they were able to see it manifested. And so I want to be able to pass this down to them, to say, I want you to remember, even after I'm gone, what's possible. This is what my life was. This is what our life was. This is the possibilities to go from, I don't know how this is going to happen, to you living in the manifestation, but then also the work of it. So even with my kids, when they're home for Christmas break, we have decided, including my 10-year-old, that I'm doing vision playbooks with my 10-year-old and my two sons that are in college. One is 2 and the other one is 20. So as a family, I'm sitting down with them and I'm doing the vision playbook with them to think through what are the areas that they want to focus on too, because I'm like, I can't do this for everybody else if I'm not doing it for my own.
Absolutely.
So we're doing the playbooks together over the holiday, and I'm really excited about it.
I love that idea. And I said to, I was talking to a woman today, and she has a teenage daughter, and I said to her, I think that this is something that you guys should think about doing. So make sure you catch the show today, because I definitely, we're the same. Yeah.
And it's something that couples could do. You could literally have your own playbook And then you can also
Yeah.
purchase a playbook that you use as a couple,
Yeah.
because I think that families need to have a vision statement, period, anyway. Because what I'm doing in my individual life may not mirror what you're doing as my partner in your individual life. And so, as a
Say it again.
couple and as a family, what
Yeah.
are the areas that we want to focus on together this year? Do
Yeah.
we want to focus on, love and sex and intimacy? That was the first
Right.
one that popped in my brain, because that's just
Right.
where my brain is right now. But do we want to focus on that? Do we want to focus on our faith walk together? Not, I know you have yours that you're working on there, but do we want to focus on our faith walk together? Do we want to focus on what we're building in terms of our home? Do we want to focus on parenthood as a role? And so you could literally have, again, your vision playbook, but then
Yeah.
as a couple in a family, you all can have one together as well.
I love that idea. I think that this is just fail proof. Like, I really don't think, as I said to you guys in the beginning, don't wait until January to, get it today. And if you want to start, planning, because, I think personally, New Year's Eve is always great. If you're past clubbing and whatever partying stage, because most of us are usually home in our jammies all day anywhere. If you live anywhere on the East Coast, right? Like, it's probably going to snow or be 7 degrees outside. Like, and I mean, I'm in upstate New York. It's probably going to be 30 inches of snow. And so it probably is, Michelle. It is really cold here.
Girl, get your hot chocolate and your vision playbook ready.
So, I was like, oh my gosh. So, I think that that's typically when I would do it. But because I'm, again, trying to get myself to the next level, I was like, I can't wait. I can't afford to wait to January. And plus, I'm launching my first, finally really launching, not beta testing, my first corporate workshop in January. So I know.
Come on. Wait a minute. I got to pause for the calls one more time.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 2, first corporate workshop.
We have a lot.
Come on, Crazy or Faith.
Listen, we have a lot that we're working on, that we're trying to do. We have a lot that we are just believing God for. I have my song for the year is the CeCe Winans Believing for It. I believe the words of that song when she's like, they said this mountain can't be moved.
Girl, that song right there. That's it. That song right there. It will take you to a level that you just like. You're just done. Right. Just like, let's just put this on replay and let's just snot and cry the whole rest of the song.
Oh, always, right? And I know that you've lived that. I know that you have. And so, yeah. So anyway, I said all that to say, I will put the link in this for you guys. Michelle, you do not have to hang up, but we should probably 57 minutes in. This is the foundation of what you guys need to kick your 2022 off. This is the foundation to really start to build that mental strength about what's been holding you back. Do it with, your best friend, do it with your partner, do it with your kids, do it with everyone. But when I tell you that when you start going through and answering these questions, the level of, I thought I was clear. I was like, I'm clear, I'm good. And then I was like, oh, I can obviously be more clear. And it's working so beautifully, in addition to my therapy and, it blew my mind today, honestly, because I did all of my sheets yesterday, and today I was cutting out like magazines and stuff. So I'm just going page by page, and I'm taking my time, because I'm still doing mommying, and working and all the things that all of us are doing, so, but I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I think that we should probably, I didn't tell you this, but I'm sitting here thinking right now,
excuse me.
I think that we should probably just come up with a special code for your well-dressed audience for them to be able to get a special discount, a promo code for a period of time for them to be able to use. So I'll work with you to make sure that happens for your audience for a period of time.
Yes. And so when she gives me that, you guys, I'll put the link there, and still, because I know some of you are just like, I want to get it today. So after the show, I'll put it in, and then, I'll post the code, and then also, we'll have it out there. But thank you. That was very generous of you. That's very Ubuntu of you.
I love it.
Okay, you don't have to hang up. I'm just going to say bye for now. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Let me know if you decided to get the vision
Yes.
the Vision Playbook. You know, we may see if Michelle has time to come back on, and then maybe we can have, you know, one of you on to talk about your experience with it, because we're out here just living in our purpose, and God said to help you. So that's what we're trying to do.
I love it.
Thank you for helping me and getting me clear too. All right.
Thank you.
You guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for being a part of the Well Dressed Brand Tribe. I'm so excited that for those of you who've reached out that saying you're going back through old shows and it's changing your life, I got the best DM this week that's like, your show is changing my life. So if you have not done that, please make sure you do that. Please make sure you like this, share this with someone that you think it will help. Make sure you tell us what you've learned from it today, and all those things. Make sure you're following Michelle on Instagram and Facebook. Get your vision playbook. Write the vision down and make it plain. I love you. I care about you. And I hope that this levels up and makes you so much better than you already are. All right. I'm going to shut up. Love you. Bye.